Since the beginning of civilization, humans have sought to understand both the divine and physical worlds. And as time has passed, two threads of thought have evolved, spirituality and science. But as science delves further into the unknown, we find that science merges with God, the Absolute. As this merging occurs, we find that science is proving positive many of the concepts written in the world's great scriptures. In recent years, as the spiritual elevation of the earth has been increasing, scientists have spent more time researching the aspects of science which are closely aligned with the divine. And as a result, scientists have made some amazing discoveries, such as one particle existing simultaneously in two places, the third eye, the aura, the power of prayer, and the zero-point field, which contains infinite energy. It seems we have reached the golden age where science and spirituality walk together, hand in hand. This scientific revolution is of great importance because as humans become more scientifically advanced, they will require great wisdom in order to use their technology for peaceful and constructive means. And with spiritual wisdom combined with our scientific knowledge, they possess the tools to transform the world into a paradise for everyone to enjoy.
Have you ever wondered about the conditions that make life on Earth possible? A truly astounding set of circumstances go together to provide just the right environment for life to thrive on our precious planet. As scientists learn more about our world and its unique place in the cosmos, they recognize how extraordinarily lucky we are to be alive. But the conditions for life are precariously balanced, and we must use our knowledge to maintain the delicate nature balance as best as we can. Hello, I am Dr. Peter Mensch, and you are watching Supreme Master Television Science and Spirituality. Today, we are going to talk about the story of our wonderful living spacecraft called Earth. But first, since it is difficult to imagine very large cosmic distances, dimensions and masses, let us scale them down to a more manageable size. Suppose that we reduce the size of the solar system 100 million times down. This would make our planet Earth the size of a big juicy navel orange of about 12 centimeters in diameter. If we extend this scale reduction of 100 million times to the rest of the cosmos, the Moon would be tiny size of a ping-pong ball and orbit the Earth at a distance of nearly 4 meters. The Sun would be the size of a hot air balloon, 14 meters in diameter, about 1.5 kilometers away from our Earth and orange planet. The planet Pluto, at the far end of our solar system, would orbit the Sun 60 kilometers beyond the Earth, while the nearest stars, Proxima and Alpha Centauri, would be 400,000 kilometers away. In this reduced scale, Mount Everest, which is the highest mountain on Earth, would be only 0.05 of a millimeter high from the base to the top, which means one small drop of water vapor from our breath could entirely cover this mountain on the rind of the Earth orange. The realm in which we live and which contains the resources to sustain life, our ecosphere, is very fragile and thin, while the outside universe is still enormous, even in the reduced scale of our analogy. The whole ecosphere, comprising the land, oceans and atmosphere, would be only as thick as a human hair. It is amazing to stop and think about the Earth planet spinning in the great big cosmic space. Our Earth even appears like a blue spacecraft from a nearby distance. Like other spaceships, the Earth carries everything that is needed for the life of its crew. Practically, no matter is brought in from outside of this spacecraft. That's why we must be conscientious about the precious material resources contained within our spacecraft. We drink the same water as dinosaurs did over 65 million years ago. The water on Earth undergoes continuous circulation, evaporating from the equatorial oceans and falling back into the form of rain or snow. The same droplets of water have continued this cycle for millions of years. The spaceship is equipped with an oxygen factory in the form of plants. Plants use the power of the sun to convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. An average tree can produce nearly 260 pounds of oxygen each year. By breathing in carbon dioxide and breathing out oxygen, plants such as trees are doing a terrific job renewing our supply of fresh air. We will continue our discussion about the precious planet Earth, so please stay tuned. This is Science and Spirituality on Supreme Master Television.
We'll be right back after this brief message.
Welcome back to Science and Spirituality.
Welcome back to Science and Spirituality. We have just established that the Earth carries everything that is needed for the life of its crew. Yet, in spite of the fact that the Earth is self-contained, our divine curiosity seems to drive us to explore the world beyond. Ever since our technology has allowed, we have organized a substantial amount of cosmic expeditions to find out about our neighbors in the solar system. 12 astronauts have visited our satellite, the Moon, while there has been perhaps only one expedition to the deepest underwater regions of our planet. So let's take a few moments to get to know more about our home, the planet Earth. Our Earth is about 4.6 billion years old. Yes, that's right, billions of years. In 1997, traces of organic life dating to about 3.85 billion years ago were discovered in rock from Greenland. So we know that the origins of life on Earth are relatively old, to say the least. But in spite of the tremendous increase in scientific knowledge over the last century, no certain scientific conclusions can be drawn about how life first came about. Recently, the pendulum of scientific belief on this subject has swung away from the theory Russian biochemist Alexander Oparin developed in 1920. The pendulum now seems to be swinging towards an older theory developed by Swedish scientist Svante Arrhenius. Oparin claimed that life and organic compounds came from spontaneous chemical reactions in the young Earth atmosphere. Arrhenius thought that life came from somewhere beyond planet Earth and was transported by cosmic spurs. This hypothesis is known as exogenesis. Throughout the Earth history, there have been many changes to the life conditions, and with these changes, the species of plant and animal life evolve adapting to new environments, sometimes in ingenious ways. We humans also seem to have adjusted pretty well to changes in the environment. Using our wisdom and creativity, we have developed technologies to make shelters in all kinds of climates and grow crops in abundance to feed ourselves and others. Of course, we also invented many other products, air-conditioned devices, medicines, cars, airplanes, and so on that make our lives more comfortable, sometimes at the expense of the natural environment. But at the same time, while modifying the environment to suit our needs out of respect for nature, we might want to ask ourselves, how can we adjust to the existing natural environment? Can we live with our planet harmoniously as it is and still be contented, or perhaps even happier still? When we come back, we will talk about one of the most important factors that make life on Earth possible. It is the star of our solar system, the one and only Sun. This is Science and Spirituality on Supreme Master Television. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after these two messages.
Harmony is a beautiful landscape painted spontaneously by Supreme Master Ching Hai during her sojourn in Finca Orchid, Costa Rica in February of 1991. One day, when Supreme Master Ching Hai was strolling along the roadside, she found the scenery extremely beautiful. She loved it so much that she immediately fetched her painting materials. The wind was so strong that Supreme Master Ching Hai had to hold the drawing board with one hand as she was painting. With the untarnished innocence of a child, Supreme Master Ching Hai's paintbrush briskly caressed the canvas as she painted the grassland. One by one, blissful flowers and grasses were created by her spontaneous strokes. Supreme Master Ching Hai particularly loves the dark green slope she painted. With the lovely scarlet flowers dancing brilliantly, the slope looks like a large thick carpet, enticing people to climb up and then slide down its velvety fur. For more information, please visit us online at www.godsdirectcontact.org.
Welcome back to Science and Spirituality.
Galaxies are divided into elliptical and spiral types. According to scientists, it is not likely that we can find elements necessary for life in elliptical galaxies. Scientists claim that life could probably only develop in spiral galaxies and in planetary systems similar to our solar system. In this solar system, the Sun is constantly emitting energy, and we depend upon this solar energy far more than we might think. Our food is made as plants convert sunlight, minerals, water, and carbon dioxide into nutritious leaves, seeds, and fruits. The Sun gives us such nourishment, and it also gives us light and warmth. Fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas are derived from ancient plant matter, which again is really just solar energy in another form. It is hard to imagine life without our generous Sun. No wonder it has been worshipped since ancient times in many different cultures. "99% of the mass of our solar system is concentrated in the Sun. It was born about 6 billion years ago from the remnants of the previous star. The Sun has been radiating energy in a stable manner for 3.5 billion years and should continue to do so for the same amount of time. It consists of 70% hydrogen and 30% helium, with other chemical elements making up the other 2 or 3% of solar mass. The diameter of the Sun is 1,392,000 kilometers, which is 160 times bigger than the Earth's diameter. Like the Earth and the other planets, the Sun is also turning on its own axis. A complete rotation occurs every 25 days, which means that this planetary giant rotates 5.5 times faster than the Earth. The temperature of the Sun at the surface is 5,700 degrees centigrade. And inside, it is an amazing 15 million degrees centigrade, while the pressure there is 200 billion tons. In this unimaginably hot core of the Sun, a continuous nuclear reaction emits an enormous amount of energy. Pairs of hydrogen atoms collide and fuse into a single atom of helium, and in the process releasing photons of gamma radiation. The gamma radiation passes through the 600,000 kilometers of the inner Sun and 8 minutes later reaches the upper region of the Earth's atmosphere. The area is known as the ionosphere because many of its particles take on an electric charge from the solar radiation. In a single second of time, the Sun transforms 657 million tons of hydrogen into 652.5 million tons of helium. The difference in mass becomes radiation energy in accordance with Einstein's famous equation. E is equal mc squared, which shows that mass and energy are essentially the same. So every second, the Sun converts 4.5 million tons of mass into broad spectrum of electromagnetic energy, such as heat, visible and ultraviolet light. In addition to light and heat, the Sun also releases a powerful stream of electrons and protons, which is often called the solar wind. This wind, coming from the Sun, extends to the far reaches of our solar system and comprises a protective cocoon known as the heliosphere. It is called a cocoon because at the edge of the heliosphere, the particles of the solar wind perform a very, very important life-preserving function. Although we cannot see it, the universe is filled with particle radiation from the cosmos. These highly energetic cosmic particles move at nearly the speed of light, but the solar winds that make up the heliosphere is able to intercept these cosmic rays. And so, near and far, the Sun not only supplies the energy necessary for life as a warm and nearby neighbor, it also shields us and does a remarkable job doing it from the greater environment of the outer universe. The Sun is perhaps the Earth's big friend, so when we thank our Earth for giving us life, we might also want to remember to thank the other life giver, our Sun. But our story is not over just yet. When we continue our program next Monday, we will discuss more about the nature of the beautiful relationship the Earth has with the Sun. And in doing so, we will also learn more about how the Earth really works to take care of all the living creatures it carries. Part 2 begins next Monday for Science and Spirituality, Life in the Spacecraft Called Earth. Now stay tuned for more positive programming right here on Supreme Master Television. See you soon!